third week of Lent, Saturday. In today's Gospel, Jesus addresses this parable to those who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. I want to concentrate on the actions of both the characters. The Pharisee, he stood and prayed thus with himself. Please note, he did not pray to God. He prayed with himself. Whereas the tax collector stood afar off. He would not even lift up his eyes to heaven, but beat his breast. Dear brothers and sisters, when people are in anguish, when people are in extreme sadness, they beat their breast. This was the custom in the time of Jesus in Palestine and in those areas. But one thing we have to notice, that generally it is women who beat their breast when they are in sadness, not men. And in India too, especially in South India, in the funerals I have seen women beating their breast out of sorrow. I have never seen men beating their breast out of sorrow. They may drink and stand, but I have never come across men beating their breast. In the entire Old Testament, this sort of action, beating the breast, is not mentioned at all. Only in New Testament, 2 times, and both the times it is mentioned in the Gospel of Luke only. The other time it is mentioned is at the crucifixion. Gospel of Luke chapter 23, verses 46 onwards. Then Jesus, crying with a loud voice, said, "Father, into my hands I commit my spirit." And having said this, he breathed his last. Now, when the centurion saw what had taken place, he praised God and said, "Certainly, this man was innocent." The next verse 48. And all the multitudes who assembled to see the sight, when they saw what had taken place, returned home, beating their breast. Dear brothers and sisters, when they saw the cruel murder of an innocent man, the Son of God, the entire multitude went back home beating their breast, because they could not digest such a cruel death. And the other time that the beating of the breast is mentioned in the entire Bible is here. The tax collector beats his breast and he asks the mercy of God. He feels so sorry for his sins and he beats his breast. And many times when we sit for confession, people come and just narrate their sins without having any sadness or regret for their sins. And sometimes people, as they enter the church, when they see a priest sitting down for confessions, they directly come and kneel down and narrate their sins. No preparation and no remorse for their sins. The tax collector sets us a model. He may not have committed very big sins. He must have committed the sin of accumulating wealth or corruption. But he felt so sorry for his sins that he beat his breast. During this Lent, before we go for the sacrament of reconciliation, let us prepare ourselves. Let us feel sorry for the sins that we have committed and receive the forgiveness of God worthily. Amen.
Sometimes